Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, welcome to Leisure Gaming. I am Leisure. About 2 months ago, I had made this video. If you haven't watched, go ahead, take a look. The link should be at the top of the screen because it ties into today's deck profile. In that video, I said that once Runick comes to Master Duel, the Magical Musketeers would get a nice power boost that it needed, and I was right. The synergy between these two archetypes are just amazing. So let's take a look at Runick Musketeers. So with Runicks, I know you've probably all seen them already. They're up and down the ladder. They're all throughout the Duelist Cup that's going on right now. Yes, there are some main monsters in this deck. I understand that Runick decks do not usually carry a main monster, but this works out really well. Just as a quick refresher, Runick cards all have the same secondary effect, which allows you to special summon fusion monsters from your extra deck, and you must also skip your next battle phase. This isn't a problem with this deck because now you have two win conditions, which is either to deck your opponent out or actually fight back and cause your opponent to hit 0 life points. And the best thing about this, it doesn't run those annoying floodgate traps, so you can have somewhat of a back and forth with your opponent. Also, with the Runick Musketeers, all their effects are activated the same way. As long as a spell or trap is activated in the same column that they are, their effects are activated. So to start off the deck, we have 3 maxis. This is going to be our draw power because we're not using any of the pots, because we definitely need to get into our extra deck, and we also need cards in our main deck. So this is going to be our main draw power. Running 3 Magical Musketeer Caspar, you can add 1 Magical Musket card from your deck to your hand, but not a card with the same name as that activated card. Running 2 Magical Musketeer Docks, you can add 1 Magical Musket card from your graveyard to your hand, but not a card with the same name as that activated card. Running 3 Magical Musketeer Starfire, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Magical Musket monster from your deck in defense position, except Magical Musketeer Starfire. Your main target for this is going to be your Caspar, but if you already have Caspar on the field or in hand, I would suggest going with Doc, or if you have something in the graveyard that you desperately need, summon Magical Musketeer Calamity. You can target 1 Magical Musket monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. On to the spells, we have 3 Runick Fountain. You can activate Runick Quick Play spell cards from your hand during your opponent's turn. Once per turn, if you activate a Runick Quick Play spell card, you can target up to 3 Runick Quick Play spell cards in your graveyard, place them on the bottom of your deck in any order, then draw the same number of cards. Running 1 Runick Allure, you only need 1 for this deck. Each time a quick play spell card activates, and this is any quick play spell card, not just Runick, banish the top card of your opponent's deck. Also, this works on your opponent's side, so if they activate a quick play spell card like Call by the Grave, they have to then banish 1 card off the top of their deck. Running 2 Magical Musket Cross Dominations, I think you only need to run 2 because you have so many quick play spells already. If you control a Magical Musket monster, target 1 face-up monster on the field until the end of the turn, changes attack and defense to 0. Also, it has its effects negated. Running 3 Runick Tips, this is going to be your searcher for your other Runick cards. You can add 1 Runick card from your deck to your hand, except Runick Tip, then banish the top card of your opponent's deck. We have 3 Runick Flashing Fire, target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls, destroy it, then banish the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. We have 3 Runick Destructions, target 1 spell or trap your opponent controls, destroy it, then banish the top 4 cards of your opponent's deck. We have 3 Runick Freezing Curses, target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, then banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Running 2 Runick Slumber, target 1 face-up monster on the field. The next time that monster will be destroyed by battle or card effect this turn, it is not destroyed. Also, it cannot attack this turn. Then after applying these effects, banish the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Running 2 Runick Smiting Storms, banish cards from the top of your opponent's deck up to the number of cards they control, and 1 Runick Dispelling. If your opponent adds a card or cards from their deck to their hand, except during the draw phase, discard 1 random card from their hand, then banish 2 cards off the top of their deck. Going on to 2 Magical Musket Desperados. If you control a Magical Musket monster, target 1 face-up card on the field and destroy it. We have 1 Magical Musket Dancing Needle. If you control a Magical Musket monster, target up to 3 cards in the graveyards, that's either your graveyard or their graveyard, and banish them. And 2 Magical Musket Last Stand. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card while you control a Magical Musket monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. On to the extra deck, we have 3 Huggin. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can discard 1 card, add 1 Runick field spell from your deck to your hand. If another card or cards you control will be destroyed by a card effect, you can banish this card you control instead. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, return it to the extra deck. Next are 2 Moonin. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can discard 1 card, add 1 Runick continuous spell from your deck to your hand. When your opponent activates a card or effect that targets a Runick card or cards you control or set cards you control, you can banish this card, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy that card. Once per turn, during the end phase, gain 1000 life points, and that's also your opponent's end phase. We have 3 Gary. Cannot be destroyed by card effects. If this card is special summoned from the extra deck, you can target 1 non-quick play Runick spell card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. When this card is destroyed by battle, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. 2 Magical Musketeer Max. If this card is linked summon, you can activate one of these effects. Add 1 Magical Musket spell or trap with different names from your deck to your hand up to the number of monsters your opponent controls, or special summon Magical Musket monsters with different names from your deck up to the number of spell or traps your opponent controls. 1 Nightmare Phoenix to destroy your opponent's spell and trap. 1 Lina, where you can take your opponent's light monster that's in the graveyard and climb into Unicorn. We have 1 Unicorn to help spin cards back into your opponent's deck. 1 Appaloosa to help negate, and 1 Access Code Talker, which will pop and attack. So that's it for the deck profile for Runick Musketeers. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead, leave a like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment below on your thoughts on Runick Musketeers. I know probably a lot of you are tired of Runicks and think that it's ruined the game. Like I said, if you like that back and forth, and if you don't like playing the usual floodgate traps, I think this is definitely a build for you to try. If you're playing Runicks in a different manner, please let me know. I'd love to hear from you. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Later.